Let's take it to Edo State now, and we want to look at the governance of that state. It's been 6 months since Senator Monday Okpebholo took the reins as the elected governor of the state. Some people say, well, 6 months is not essentially enough time to, as they say, quote unquote, call results. Others say it's also enough time, essentially, to look at how far the government has come. At least if you can talk about 100 days in office, why can't we also do a 6-month assessment of the government? But the question is, what are the key performance indicators, the KPIs for looking at this question? That there are issues around the economy, for example. There are issues around infrastructure. There are concerns, first and foremost, again, around insecurity. If you have followed the news the last couple of weeks, it's not very pleasant, the kind of stories coming out of the state in terms of cult clash and the killings emanating therefrom. However, the governor is called the chief security officer of the state. Again, the governors have argued over time that, look, that appellation is only nominal because they do not have latitude over security apparatus on any level in this country. Joining us to help navigate this conversation this morning is a member of the People's Democratic Party, which is the leading opposition party in the state. By the way, he has also been the chairman, the executive chairman, that is, of your Southwest local government area in that state, Honorable Destiny Enabulele. Thank you for coming by the studio this morning.
My brother, nice meeting you again.
The pleasure is all mine.
It's good to be here.
Right.
Thank you very much.
So I want us to begin this conversation with not just the election, but let's look at governance now, because your matter is in court, apparently. I mean, basically your party and the APC on the one hand, and then, of course, Dr. Godalo and Senator Monday Okpebholo on the other hand. But I want us to look at the last 6 months, because by 12th of this month, it was already 6 months since Senator Okpebholo took over as governor of the state. When I talk to PDP members, I keep hearing things like the governor has destroyed all of the things that Mr. Obaseki had done within the last 8 years while he was in government. Talk to us about your sentiments.
I mean, as my usual ritual, I appreciate Global TV for this opportunity again, at least to contribute
Right.
to the political evolution and governance in Edo State and Nigeria in general. You see, I must be very frank. For me, I find it difficult to situate what is happening in Edo State very just now. Because what you have, I think some writers and some political watchers, they have referred to it as a soap opera kind of governance. You know, it's melodramatic. I don't know if you are getting me. That's what we have in Edo State.
Why is that?
I will tell you for free. You must have seen some jamborees, left, right, center, trying to. Those are not the projects of your district government. At any rate, let me quickly say this. For me, I don't see anything good coming out from this present administration in Edo State.
Because you're a member of the opposition?
No, not because I'm a member. I'm from the civil society. For any government that is willing to affect the people, to the grassroots, must first of all engage the people.
Right.
You are aware, you are a journalist. 6 months running, or the seventh month now. I don't know if you can pinpoint, if you can tell me as a journalist, where he has called the people to have a stakeholders interface. Whether in the senatorial, across the three senatorials, or in the state, to say, okay, here I am. For me, I don't even believe in his governance. Not because, as we speak very just now, I still refer to him as the INEC governor, with utmost humility. And you and I know what played out. To be very sincere, in the election of Edo State, September 2023, you and I know. 2024. So you and I know what played out. For me, I not because I don't see they don't have the capacity to be able to wrestle, to start from where his predecessor stopped. And besides, he has again, jettisoned, abandoned what he met on ground. Today, some of us will give it to Lagos State, not because they are spirits or they are too fantastic, because over time it has been a thing of succession. This president of this country laid the foundation that has presently taken a Lagos State to where we have it as we speak very just now. But what this present one, when he assumed office with utmost humility, he abandoned, because he believes that he cannot tinker in the same line with his predecessor. We must give it to Obaseki in terms of administration. But fantastic. He did incredibly well. At a point, it was almost gone, the issue of taking Edo to a paperless governance. But as we speak very just now, you must have seen some of the governor's table. You see, pile of files in this day and time. I remember a time when I visited Germany. I visited one of the local government, as we have here.
Mm-hmm. Like a county.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. It was a seamless running. I stayed with him it was in the area of Stuttgart, for quite about 3 to 2 hours. We've gone past the era of, moving files from one office to the other. At least you experience, or perhaps you followed Obaseki while he was in the office. You saw his style of governance. I'm not saying that it was perfect with him. No, he has his own side, he has his own flaws, but at a point he took Edo to a level where you will say, okay, from there take it to another level. But with this present one, he has taken us backward. Permit me into the era before the 1999.
But let's set a bit of a context. I can remember in 2021, Obaseki has come up with his 30-year plan, 30-year development plan. There were people who said, look, this man is disconnected from reality, because they said Obaseki was having a conversation that Edo people could not relate with, that he should have had plans that within shorter term frames and all of that. Is it not possible that Mr. Okpebholo is now realigning himself with the people and realities on the ground better than Obaseki did?
When you say that Okpebholo is realigning himself, can I have anything to do with you without meeting you?
So you're concerned that he has not had
There's never been a time where it's not in the abstract. It's not in the spiritual world that you interface with the people. You must constitute a meeting that you interface with the people. You feel the pulse of the people. Then you're able to come up and generate what your plans should be and how you'll be able to how you want to tackle it. You can't do something on nothing. We've gone past this. Even in the Western world, the developed world, there's always at interval they interface. They feel the pulse of the people. At times they go to the streets to feel the people. But you giving some contact to some consultants. They'll go and get you some classroom ideas. No. At this present time in this country, we must be practical in addressing the issue. You can see what is happening in the area of security across board. And those states are left out. Before now, those states ought to be one of the safest, if not the safest state in this country.
But we hear that the governor has declared war on cultism, for example, which in recent times has become a source of security concerns. I mean, what more could he have done, for example, beyond what he's currently pursuing?
I started by saying it's a soap opera kind of governance. It's melodramatic. I must be very frank. See, what he has, you must have heard that at the time he marked Honorable Matthew with the hotel for demolition. The Eternal Hotel for demolition. Even when the Francis Enabulele Hotel for demolition. But as we speak very just now, the Enabulele has aligned with the Okpebholo's thinking by way of abandoning PDP. So that's a topic for another day. You see, this is exactly what is happening in the center, where you see gain of defection from the major political parties. The president will say, or the presidency, as they will say, we open the book, so boy, look at, if not you, but what is what your guard, your your predecessor has done, who brought you, so you must align. You saw what happened in Delta State. Across board. So it's two things. Why they are defecting is what Okpebholo is trying to initiate. That's okay. We will just look the perceived enemy with some followers. Okay, let's negotiate. You know, one time, Oshomole, January 2019, if I'm not mistaken, when he was still the national chairman of the APC, he said, if you were a sinner, once you cross to APC, your sins are forgiven. It is in Punch newspaper, not the physical Punch, but the Punch newspaper. So that's where we find ourselves. So if you mark your house in a do, if you decide to tinker or think the same way with him, you are no longer you are becoming a saint.
You are insinuating that what Okpebholo is doing, it's basically not fighting cultism, is leveraging it for political gains.
Definitely, there's no doubt about that. That is the purpose. That is the intent. That is the intent of that mission. I must be very frank. I'm not saying that there are no cultism or cult-related activities in those things. I'm not saying that. But you must give it a human thinking. You must allow it to pass the process. You must take it. See, the court must interpret. You don't just say, yes, a certain person committed XYZ offense by way related to cult-related activities. You marked my house, for instance, for demolition, without a fair hearing. Are you not the judge? You cannot be a judge in your own case. That's exactly what is happening. And there are people, they started crying out. I think there was a protest yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, that they have hijacked the process for a political gain. Civil society, there was a protest yesterday. That's the point. I'm not saying, but you must give it a human face without any political inclination. That's the point. So our problem in this country is because we play politics. That's why you see the issue of insecurity in this country, as we speak very just now. I don't know if you can recall, there was a time when this issue of kidnapping was just evolving. I made a very sweet comment that time. That if not nip on the board, if you decide to play politics with it, what 10 years to come, and that's exactly what we are saying. I'm not the prophet of doom. I tell you, if they don't retrace their step politically, what is ahead? Just a child's play.
So are you saying by any means that's 7th month into its government, we cannot, for example, put a finger on any achievements, whether it's infrastructure related, the economy, social development, or whatever it is? Credit to Okpebholo for that.
You see, let me quickly say this. Even some of the schools renovations at a time that they were being celebrated, perhaps you must have heard from the Neo-Black movement that it was their own projects.
So it was not a government-funded.
It was not a government-funded project. I watched it in Arise TV, one of the sister stations. So for me, I think that's the only thing that's okay. But I don't see. The only thing that I have seen as a person, and a majority of those citizens that reside there, we have seen perhaps is the purchase, of Hilos and Prado for commissioners. And some of them, they likely that, Obaseki left some reasonable amount of money in the district coffer. We just give it to Obaseki continually. Which some of them have said is the nest of king. When the issue of the nest of king. When a man is wealthy and you have a nest of king, when a nest of king, sit on that chair, it's squander the wealth that the father or the mother has over the years accumulated without even looking back. That's exactly what is happening in Edo State. He's buying fleece of today if you go to government house, you can't even see the Hiloses and the Prado that they bought over hundreds. So that is it. It's a spending spree for this present administration in Edo State. And they are not even bothered about whether to take Edo developmentally to the next level. I think they started campaigning for, with utmost humility, to the president. They set up youth wing of the campaign for 2027. When we are still in 2025, we still have 2026. Nobody can see you can't play God. You will be here this minute. The other minute you might not be there. It's 2027. You've already started.
But your part of the PDP is also having the 2027 conversation. So
no, what we are having
is that not being hypocritical?
No. That of the PDP is quite different from when you are in when you are in government, when you are a shadow of leadership. You know, to what PDP is doing because of the internal, wrangling and crisis. So what we are trying to do is to see how we settle our house. It's different from
ahead of time.
Yes. What they have said to them that they don't have any crisis. Have you seen or heard that PDP they've constituted campaign for 2027 or the youth wing or the women wing? No. What they are doing, they are networking to how to settle the issue first. Because my grandmother will say, "Ewoma, ebona waya." There's no way you will do anything meaningful in an atmosphere of rancor.
Right.
That's the literal meaning. So for us, as a PDP, we must put our house in order to be able to fight this monster in the center. I know you will not agree with me, but that is the gospel truth.
Let's go back to Edo State now, because it will appear your party, the PDP, in a manner of speaking, is bleeding. For example, the speakership of the House of Assembly has been very controversial. Honorable, or I should say Right Honorable Blessing Okpebholo, the Speaker of the House, who was a vehement, outspoken, staunch, almost unrepentant supporter of your party and your candidates in the election, talking about Dr. Okpebholo, seems to have, if you like, switched camps now. And that's, again, bothers many of your party members, because I see them talking about all of this across social media platforms. That's number one. Number two is we're seeing a gale of defection, even in the House of Assembly, in our states. I'm asking that question because as the leading opposition party, you have a very critical role to play in helping to galvanize the leadership in those states. So how's that coming?
You see, I don't know if you are aware. I spent 6 months in the House of Assembly before I was removed by the court, by the tribunal.
Right.
The persons that you've mentioned, about 23 of them, if not the whole, even the man that came by, they are all my friends. Even the speaker, I will say without any missing words, that when I was in the House, I should be maybe among the first three, in terms of closeness. At least to some extent, he listened to me. You see, what happened there, one, and perhaps you must have seen his press release. I said it even before he made the press release in one of the sister stations. One is to get the full benefits of that office. You can't, that is another, see, politics is very, very complex. And he believes that if he stays back, you saw what happened yesterday. The deputy speaker resigned.
Right. And he talked about integrity.
Fantastic woman. I moved the motion that nominated her as the deputy speaker. Fantastic woman. In all ramification. She's a fantastic woman in all ramification. A teacher, a wife, a mother, and above all, a very, true representative of the people. Fantastic woman. He has resigned. But what you have seen, and you are aware, prior to this time, before this time, that the speaker at the time, at the early stage of this nascent democracy, was in the House. Perhaps the youngest then. You know what happened to him? That he was suspended after about a year or two, till the end of the tenure. Perhaps he has taken a leap from that time and tried to look at it and look at the future. For me, I've told whoever cares to listen.
I guess that was in the days when you had Shaibu in
Zakaru Garuba.
Garuba, yes, who was the speaker.
Was the speaker then. Yeah. For me, I have told whoever cares to listen. I will not fault him. They said once beaten, twice shy. I will not fault him. He has his own. So for him to enable to take the dividends of democracy to his constituency, he must think and align. Nigerian politics. If you are not there, they play politics. Even if not that God give us air, they would have played politics with the air we're breathing. To say, okay, if you refuse, we'll take it from you. We are so barbaric as that. So for us, I've told whoever I don't fault him. But for the others, I have my reservations.
What are your reservations?
It's not because they are my friends.
Are you disappointed?
Seriously. Because the persons that you have seen that are working for that 6 months, they are not lesser guys. They are young fellow. They are not lesser guys. In their own rights, they control some liquid. So I expect them to call call a spade. But it's right.
But they say money is not right enough.
That is greed. If you allow your greed to not dictate to you your sense of reasoning, then it's no longer enough. It's no longer enough. For me, greed has never been part of me at all. I say it the way it is. The way it is. No matter who else is God. Because what is good for the goose is only good for the gander. So for me, I respect them. And I respect their judgments and I respect their decisions. But they must believe that there's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. I grew up with my grandmother when I lost my father. So she taught me many things. The issue of integrity. The issue of, try to be sincere. The issue of friendship. I believe in friendship. When I'm your friend, I hardly. Well, that's why when I belong to a movement, to the end, I will not look back. That's why when I put my hand in the plow, no looking back.
Would you say, I hope you are dispassionate about this, your response. Would you say the PDP is still a formidable force in Edo State in terms of helping to checkmate the government of Senator Monday Okpebholo?
With utmost humility, it's still a formidable force. Not only in Edo State, across the length and breadth of this country. And I want to appeal to Nigerians. If we want to sustain this democracy, we must give the oxygen to PDP.
Who unplugged it in the first instance?
No, with the gain of defections. I've read one of the write-ups on that their aim is to take the oxygen. Their aim is to take. I said it earlier. It was take. I read it from one of the articles. It's to take the oxygen from PDP. That's why now I'm now appealing to the average. See, the coming election is not about the bourgeois or the elites. It's about the people. You saw what happened in 2023. I said it on another platform. Our miscalculation is having, with utmost humility, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu as the president of this country. That is the man. I followed him up when he was in governor of Lagos State. I saw some of his programs. I think I did a write up that time. It's a man that I admire. But there is a point that you need to draw the line. You can see what we have in this country. This country is not moving forward. There are certain things that you don't play politics with. You don't give positions to your cronies. At this point, you have to bring everybody on board to enable us leave this present, political and economic and security quagmire to that level. What we have now, tell me one fantastic person with utmost humility. I have not seen any.
In terms of cabinet members?
Exactly. Like what we have during Jonathan. Because we will have Africa Development Bank. Yes. And the likes. We saw some persons. There are brilliant, intelligent Nigerians outside the shores of this country.
So, are you saying you do not, by any standard or measurement, appreciate the efforts of someone like the Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, for example?
That's
one. Aerospace development.
That is
Professor
Skiamu. That's those two fantastic guys. You can see because them with again, age has.
So it is a factor.
It's a factor. At times I will read to 2 a.m., 3 a.m., even this morning. But if you are aged, there's a limit you can go. There's a law of diminishing return. It will definitely set in. You can't buy that with money.
The APC has referred to your party, the PDP, as a dead political party that has refused to be buried.
You see, yes. I said it just now. I said I appeal to Nigerians that if they want to sustain this democracy and save Nigerians and Nigeria from one party system, they must give oxygen to PDP. I said it. They might not be far from truth. I'm not very frank. I'm not political here. I try to say it the way it is. They might not be because of the internal wrangling in the party. They might not be far from the truth. But Nigerians, in reviving the PDP, Nigerians must give oxygen back to to PDP.
There are people who say that, I mean, to use your words, metaphorically, that oxygen mask is with the likes of Wike and Atiku Abubakar. So how then do you start looking for it elsewhere?
See, PDP is bigger than any party. PDP is the only true national political party. You can take that to the bank. I want to take you to, NCNC and Action Group. PDP is not a regional. One of the factors that militated against Action Group then, it was a regional party. I'm a student of history. You know what followed.
Right.
So for us, the only true national party is PDP. It's not a one-man show. That's why you see the likes of, with utmost humility, the present FCT minister can call a bluff. You see, Atiku can have a, but just take a look at the present party in power. If the man says this and it's final, you saw the gang up against Jonathan with the likes of Amechi, Lamido, and the likes. The rest is history. They were able to wrestle because it was a national party. It's not as porous, as disjointed as we have in APC. So for us, I'm appealing. Any opportunities for me to appeal to Nigerians to give oxygen back to PDP, because that is the only true national party where the people have a say and have a voice.
We started from Edo State, so let's go wrap it up there.
Yeah, that's my beautiful state.
As it stands today, do you think, I mean, as currently constituted, do you think the PDP, I mean, I should say, the House of Assembly in that state it's strong enough, it's wired for, I mean, flogging the government of the day to line, I mean, for want of better words?
Well, you see, we want to be very frank. I try to when it concerns the House of Assembly, as we have it, the eighth assembly, as we have it very just now.
Right.
I try to restrain myself from, because whether you like it or not. But there is saying said, tell a friend the truth. It will not affect friendship. We should allow it to affect friendship.
Right.
So for us, as we speak very just now, across board, there is no House of Assembly without the governor. That is the LCM.
Does that
Let nobody tell you.
Does that make it a rubber stamp legislature?
I'm not saying a rubber stamp, but if that's your own meaning to it, so be it. But what I'm saying, if you take the governor away from men,
but the governor is not a member of the House of Assembly.
Have you wondered why there are, or you will say, let's try to take it to the National Assembly, that the president is not a member of National Assembly? Does that answer your question?
But again, we're talking about it.
I'm trying to look at it. That would suffice. That will answer.
I'm saying Governor Monday Okpebholo was not was not elected to be a member of the House of Assembly.
President Ahmed Bola Tinubu was not elected or appointed to be a member of the National Assembly. And he's serving in his
capacity as the president.
Then what is happening in the National Assembly?
Where they are legislating.
How?
You
saw what happened in Rivers Saga. That where the issue of voice vote,
the state of emergency,
where the population there was not even up to 1/3 of the population of the national.
So is that also replicated in Edo State?
They're putting me again on the hot seat. They are my friends.
I'd like to say a big thank you to
Thank you very much,
Honorable Destiny Enabulele, for coming.
Nice to be here and see you again.
Yes, a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Incidentally, that's what we're living. We continue to watch developments, not just in Edo State, but across the country as they unfold. But just to remind you that the views of our guests are their opinions, and we are Mofwebe on behalf of Queen Agaba and the entire team here at Google Television. So thank you for watching.